Hey guys, it's Elaine, the Ninja Life Coach, and welcome to my channel today. Today, let's talk about the top 5 things that I see at the thrift store that you need to be looking for. So sit back, grab yourselves a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm back. And today let's talk about the 5 top things that I find at the thrift store that I always look for, and the thrift store does seem to have plenty of. And let's start off with the obvious. The first thing is going to be clothes. Now, I always look when I go to the thrift store. I always look at the clothes if I can, unless I'm just in a hurry and looking for something else. But if I'm looking for something for myself, particularly, I always go in and look in my size. Now, you can expand this out and look for stuff for every member of your family and your friends as well. And I don't mean just clothes, I mean accessories as well, like scarves, purses, hats, all those things the thrift store has plenty of. And if you want to get really creative, you can learn how to upcycle clothes. It's not that difficult. It's not very hard. There's a ton of people on YouTube who do it. So I always look for clothes, and I look for branded items, and I look for new with tags. Now, it certainly doesn't have to be new with tags for me to buy it. But I have found dresses at the thrift store for as little as $1. And I mean, like from Talbot's, nice dresses, not just, something that's a Walmart special. Now, when you go to the thrift store, you have to kind of go with no agenda. You have to kind of go with, let's see what they have today, rather than I'm looking for an Xbox game of whatever it is. You can't really go with that in mind, because if you do, you're probably not going to find it. But if you go to say, let's see what they've got today, you can find all sorts of things by having that mindset, and especially when you're looking at clothes. And look for things that are your style. Don't just pick it up because it's a pretty color, because I guarantee you that if you don't think it's your style, it's going to hang in your closet just like a million other things hang in my closet. But pick something that's in your style. I am very fortunate. One of the stores that is close to me, which is Knox Area Rescue Ministries, there's a lady who apparently is my size, and she donates a ton of name brand clothes to that store, and they fit me well. So that works out really well for me. So try to find a place that people donate the brands that you like, because that makes it really easy. The next thing that you can find in abundance at the thrift store, and that makes a cute little gift, is just simply a coffee cup. Coffee cups are a dime a dozen at the thrift store, and a lot of them have not even been used. You can do a lot with a little coffee cup. You can put an arrangement in here you can do a seasonal arrangement. You can, of course, pair it with cocoa or coffee or tea and give it as a little gift. You can turn it upside down like this and put a serving platter on top of it for a unique and different type of service. You can do a lot with a little coffee cup. Coffee cups are good gifts to give in conjunction with something else. Say you're giving someone, I don't know, a fuzzy blanket or a gift certificate, but you want them to have something to open. If you're giving somebody a fuzzy blanket, tie a coffee cup to the front of the package, or tuck it down inside the blanket and let them find it as a little surprise. If you're giving a Starbucks gift card, you can always pick up a coffee cup. You don't have to buy expensive Starbucks mugs. You can find all kinds of branded mugs from Ray Dunn to Starbucks at the thrift store. And the prices are going to be much better at the thrift store than it is if you go and pay full price somewhere else. So that's my number 2, is coffee cups. The third thing, and this is probably one of my favorites to pick up at the thrift store, are books. Books are great to pick up at the thrift store, to either for yourself or to give as gifts. Everybody doesn't read, but there are books that will appeal to just about everybody. There are usually tons of coffee table books at the thrift store. There are usually tons of novels. There are usually tons of history or historical type books at the thrift store. And there are plethoras of cookbooks. So if you've got someone on your list that likes to cook, or someone who likes to read, or someone who just simply likes beautiful things, beautiful objects, you can find books that have beautiful covers. I have several vintage books that I found that are just simply lovely that I have found at the thrift store, and I bought them just simply because the cover was beautiful. I've got 2 books about flowers, and I don't garden, but I bought them because the covers are just old and worn, and they're simply gorgeous. I've got a little children's book that I bought for the same reason. And you can take the dust jacket off and use them as decor. I mean, it's a great option. And most of the books that you find at the thrift store have maybe been read once. Like this is even a novel, and it doesn't look like it's even been, I mean, I know I can tell it's been, sitting around a while, but who cares? I mean, I'm going to keep this and read it. It'll provide 3 or 4 hours of entertainment to me, and then I can redonate it back, or I can pass it along and give it to somebody else. It's a fun little gift. And if you're giving somebody a cup of coffee, put a book with it, and you've got a nice little gift. You've got about a $20 gift, and you've really paid pennies on the dollar for it. And some of the more charity shop type of thrift stores, you can sometimes find stuff like this, like for $1. And you can find books like the local Knox Area Rescue Ministry here, which is kind of a higher end thrift store. But I go there a lot if I'm looking for something for myself because their stuff is good. But their books are 5 books for $1. If you buy 5 books, they're $1. If you don't, it's $1.99 a piece. But if you buy 5, it's $1. They're $1 a piece. So that's what I always try to do, is find 5 books that I can put together. The fourth thing that's really good to pick up at the thrift store are decorative cushions for your home. Most of the cushions that I have in my home, I have bought at the thrift store. Let me show you one of them. Okay, most thrift stores have a ton of these. This is one I bought at Knox Area Rescue Ministries. And I bought this because not only do I love the colors in this, but look at the back of this. So what I do at Christmas is I show it like this. And then after Christmas is over, I flip it around, and there it is. Now, I just loved this because I love the colors in it. And decorative pillows are expensive. If you go to Target even and buy these, or even Walmart, they cost a ton. You're going to pay $12 to $15 for one pillow. And especially if you go to some place like, Crate and Barrel or something and buy stuff like that, you are going to pay a ton for those things. You can pick these up here where I live at the thrift store anywhere from $2.99 to $7.99 for a pillow, depending on the size and the brand. But I think this one was $2.99. And so I bought this and I bought another one at the same time. Now, am I going to use these on my bed or anywhere where I lay around? No, I'm using these for decorations. They sit in a chair, and I don't lay on them. I don't waller around on them or anything like that. I don't put them on my bed, but I could, because I bring them home and I toss them around in the dryer for a minute or two, and then I use my steamer on them to steam the outside to kill any germs. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing, there's not going to be anything that survives that. And I'm not paranoid about stuff like that. That doesn't bother me. I mean, we live in a world with germs, and if I can build my immune system by exposing myself to them, oh well, that's just the way it is. I don't worry too much about that kind of stuff. But you can usually find pretty decorative pillows at the thrift store. The last thing that I think is a great buy at the thrift store are dishes. You can find all kinds of dishes at the thrift store. Beautiful dishes. I'm talking everything from transferware to Mikasa to Noritake china to chinoiserie. You can find it at the thrift store. If you're a collector of fine china, or you're a collector of Waterford crystal or anything like that, you can find things like that at the thrift store. And let me tell you what you can do with that. If you're buying gifts at the thrift store and you want to give someone a piece of nice Waterford crystal, a small bowl, and you run across it at the thrift store. Maybe it's, one of those about like that. And you're looking for a gift for your 18-year-old granddaughter. Chances are she's not going to appreciate that Waterford bowl like you or I will. So what you can do is you can put her gift inside that bowl. And you have started her on the road to collecting. Explain to her, put in the note what it is, and say, I just thought you might like to have this. I thought it was really pretty. And give her some makeup brushes to go with it. Put it in there. Give her some makeup to fit down in that bowl. Or you can make a candle. Go to the Dollar Tree and buy 3 or 4 of those candles, melt them down, use a wick, reuse the wick, stick it down in there, and make her a candle. And she's got a beautiful bowl with a candle in it. Now, is that ideal? It isn't. But it does save the Waterford bowl from a landfill. And you can find all kinds of lovely, lovely dishes at the thrift store. The last few days when I was thrifting last week and this week, I saw transferware, I saw Noritake china, I saw all kinds of Fallsgrave, I saw Corning, and I'm trying to think of what else I saw. I saw some Currier and Ives. So I saw a lot of branded things at the thrift store. Now I have had in mind that I'm thinking I might start collecting transferware. But after looking at the prices of transferware, I'm like, no, I don't think I will, because a place setting is like $35 for a 4-piece place setting. So even on a secondary market, that's what you're going to pay for it. So I'm still looking, and if I can find some that's, the price is right, I may grab it, maybe at an estate sale or someplace, maybe on, the third day when they mark it down to 50%, maybe I can find something like that. But if you're looking specifically, if you collect anything like that, if you collect dishes, if you collect fine china, if you collect any kind of serving pieces, that's the time to look for your platters, your plates, your bowls, your cups, all of that stuff. That's where to look. Because chances are, if you run across it at the thrift store, it's going to be much cheaper than it is on eBay or Etsy or any of the, Poshmark, any of the, secondary market apps that you're going to use. If you can find it at Goodwill or you can find it somewhere else, you're probably going to pay less. You may not pay less on Marketplace. That's another good place to look. But if you're just now getting set up with your house and you need some dishes, I'd check the thrift store, because chances are you can get a 4-piece place setting, which would be about 16 pieces. You can usually get something like that for less than $15, $20. And you're not going to find anything like that. And it's going to be nice. You're not going to be able to find anything like that at, Target. So you can also find, it's a good place also to look for your bowls, like your serving bowls or anything like that. And your platters or any type of dishware. You can usually find something that you need at the thrift store. And what I'm going to be doing this year is I'm going to be making some treats and putting them on little Christmas platters that I've got, and that's going to be my gift to some of my friends this year. So something like that, that you've paid less than $10 for, it's going to be great. You're not going to be able to beat that. And you're giving people something that they can reuse over and over again. I like to keep stuff like that on hand, and here's why. I'm Southern, and when we have somebody in our family or in our church or our community that has a tragedy, well, we take food. That's what we do. So if you want to take some food to somebody and you want to say, keep the plate, what better way than to give them a lovely serving platter that you've paid pennies on the dollar? Just say, keep the plate. I want you to have this. And there you go. So if there's a death in the family, if it's somebody's birthday and you want to just, and you normally don't get them a present, but you want to do a little something, go to the store and buy some cookies and put it on the platter and take it to them. I have done that because I'm not the best cookie baker in the world, but I can sure go to the store and get some assorted cookies and throw them on a plate and slap some saran wrap and a bow on it and say, here, I was thinking about you. Here, I know you've been having a rough time. Here. It's a great way to bless your neighbors as well. If you have new neighbors, it's a great way to introduce yourself to them. Hey, I just want to bring you these cookies. You can do all kinds, put all kinds of stuff on that. And, you know, you can make a little charcuterie board and take them. So that's kind of where I'm at, and that's the 5 things that you can get at the thrift store, and you can usually get for a great deal and a great price. When you run across something that's a good deal, you have to just kind of ask yourself, okay, how can I use this, or how can the recipient of this gift use this? And you need to kind of think, how can I repurpose? Like, how many ways can I repurpose a coffee cup? What can I do with this coffee cup besides drink coffee or tea out of it? Well, you can use it as a little planter, for instance. If you've got a glass drill, you can drill a hole in the bottom of it and use it as a planter, or stick an air plant in it. You don't have to do any of that if you use an air plant. Or put another planter down inside this, or turn it into a candle, or use it to, you know, as a display. Just do something, but I like to try to give something to people that I know that they're going to use and is going to be functional, rather than something that's just going to sit on the shelf like my house, because I do love my stuff. And one of these days I will do a new home tour and I will show you everything in here again, because I've changed stuff around. I do love stuff. And my daughter has indicated to me that she doesn't want my stuff when I die. So I guess my home will be turned into an estate sale, which is kind of fitting. So listen, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Check out my description box. It'll show you everything I do. And when you get an opportunity, please like and subscribe to my channel. It's totally free to subscribe. But if you give the channel a thumbs up, it really helps with... if you give the video a thumbs up, it really helps with the YouTube algorithms, and it helps get my videos on the recommended. So thank you very much for watching. I love you guys. May the Lord be with you. God bless. Maranatha.